What up, y'all? This DJ Illmatic back once again, coming at you live and direct, straight from my crib, USA, daily operation, episode 8. Here to chop it up with you once again about all the goings on in the gaming world today. Now, of course, we got to start off this week like we always do with electric relaxation, talking about the games I played in the last week. And the one you're checking out on the video is, of course, Assassin's Creed Unity. Got a chance to play through the Dead Kings DLC. I have to say I enjoyed the DLC. That being said, I enjoyed Unity very much itself as well. As I said, I'm a real big Assassin's Creed fan, so I've enjoyed all the games in the series so far. I didn't have a lot of the issues that people complained about as far as bugs and glitches when I played through Unity, and so that never detracted from the game for me. I played through it at its launch, probably finished a couple weeks after launch. Had a great time with the game. Jumped back in this past week to play the Dead Kings DLC, and I'd say I enjoyed the DLC just as much. One thing I did notice, and I didn't notice this in Unity, is that combat changed from the Assassin's Creeds on the last gen to this gen in terms of the last gen. It was very easy to go up against a whole army of attackers and you could defeat them really no problem whatsoever. This gen, that was not the case. If you got outnumbered, it was very, you die very quickly, very easily. That kind of changes during the end game, and I didn't notice it because once I beat the single player story, I kind of put the game down and moved on to other things. But once you beat the single player story in Unity, you get the most powerful sword in the game, and once you get that sword, it's kind of back to the original or the previous gen versions of the combat in terms of the fact that you can take on entire armies and really still not have any problem. The only real problem you deal with in this game, even with the powerful sword, is when the enemies that shoot at you. Unlike last gen where you can grab someone and use them as a human shield, that option is not available in Unity, and so anyone with a gun is still a problem. But in terms of just going head up combat with the enemies, I've taken on entire groups of enemies now that I've gotten this most powerful sword and really had no problem. So that kind of changed the combat in terms of the Dead Kings DLC. But overall, I love the game. They had a new weapon. I didn't use it a whole lot because I really like my sword. They got a new weapon. It's a mixture of like an axe and a cannon almost. You can fire little mortar shots with it. It was fun using it a couple of times, especially when I had enemies rounded up in a huge group. But for the most part, I stuck with my sword just because it's more nimble and agile and allows me to attack enemies a lot quicker. But I enjoyed the DLC, played through it to its end. The only issue I had with the DLC, and I won't spoil the story itself, but and Assassin's Creed had this problem before, and I can't remember if I think it might have been in 2, to where the very last mission, Assassin's Creed is all about being agile and quick and being able to move up buildings and roll out of the way and just attack very quickly. And unfortunately, well, at least I didn't like it. The last mission ends with you moving very slowly and methodically, and it takes your option of moving quickly and dodging and all those things away from you. And I didn't like that. Assassin's Creed to me is all about that ease of movement and agility and being an assassin. And so to take that away and to have you have to move very methodically and slowly through the last part of the game, I didn't care for. But check it out. Once again, it was free for anybody that bought Unity because of all the issues they had. It was free, so make sure you check it out. Now, ironically, I didn't really have any issues with Assassin's Creed Unity, but I did start to see a couple of bugs while I was playing this. I believe I saw two, and like I said, it wasn't a big deal to me, but I saw one instance where two guards were walking towards me, but their whole bodies were leaning sideways, sort of like that old V8 commercial, if you remember that. I had another instance where have those random encounters where they'll say attack the or capture the kill the criminal, I believe it is, and the criminal and the person they were attacking were actually stuck inside a wall, and so I couldn't attack them, but I was able to pull the gun out and shoot them. And so really, those are the only two bugs I saw, and it's probably about the same amount of bugs I saw playing through Unity. I said it really didn't detract from the game for me. I mean, I understand it being a huge open world type game with all the moving parts in this world. You're going to run across that occasionally, but there was nothing game breaking, nothing that caused me to restart or reload a save. So once again, Assassin's Creed Dead Kings, the DLC. Make sure you check it out if you haven't already. Also playing through Final Fantasy IV on my PlayStation Vita. Now I learned a $10 lesson. Not really learned because I already knew the answer, but I had forgotten over the years. Now I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy II for the Super Nintendo, one of my all-time favorite games. So when I was perusing the PlayStation Store on my Vita the other day, I saw that they had all kind of Final Fantasy games, and lo and behold, they had Final Fantasy Origins, which included 1 and 2. Now, keep in mind, it's been 20 years since I played Final Fantasy 2, probably a little bit longer than that. And so when I saw this, I was really excited to go ahead and grab it for about $10 and jump back in and relive my joys of playing that old SNES classic. And so I bought the game, downloaded, booted it up, and I noticed that the little intro sequences to the game I did not recognize at all. And so I know my memory ain't what it used to be, and I know 20 years is a long time to remember something, but I knew my memory wasn't that bad. And then it dawned on me that the numbers we have for Final Fantasy aren't the same as what they were in Japan. And so once I realized that and Googled it, I found out that Final Fantasy 2 to us was actually Final Fantasy 4. And so once I figured that all out, I was able to download the right game. I won't say it's a complete waste of $10. It gives me an excuse to go back once I play through Final Fantasy 4 to go back and play 1 and 2 since I have them now. But I'm going back playing Final Fantasy 4 just to relive it. Like I said, one of my all-time favorite games. I was kind of worried that I was looking at through rose-colored glasses that it wouldn't live up to my memory of the game. Because a lot of times things don't live up to our memories or something. That being said, so far I'm probably about 6, 7 hours in, and it's still just as great as I remember it all them years ago. Amazing game. I still love it. So I encourage you, if you've never checked it out, whether you check it out on Vita or whatever kind of collection you can find, Final Fantasy 4, if you get the old school Super Nintendo Final Fantasy 2, whatever it is, all-time classic game, and I recommend it to anyone who's never played it. All right, y'all. The next segment of the show is called Buck 'em Down, because this is a segment of the show we buck down all the foolishness and ignorance in the gaming world today. And I want to holler at y'all about a couple of games releasing this March. First of all, we're going to start off with the Borderlands, the Handsome Collection, which launches March 24th. It includes Borderlands 2 and Borderlands, the prequel. And I've been hearing a lot of gamers and gaming journalists complain about all these HD, revisited, remade, remastered, definitive edition collection games being released on these new gen systems. And the argument I've heard from people is I didn't buy my PS4, my Xbox One to play old games. Now, all those gamers are being hypocritical. And the reason I say they're being hypocritical is this. I've heard on various podcasts, journalists go on rants about how tired they are of all these HD remastered collections and how they wish publishers would quit wasting money and time on these old games and bring us something new. And then 2 minutes later, they tell us how they're eagerly anticipating a Gears of War collection or an Uncharted collection. And therein lies the hypocrisy, because I don't care who you are as a gamer. Every single gamer has a game or games that if they re-released an HD collection or version of that game, you would be there day one. Because I tell you right now, if they ever release a Knights of the Old Republic HD remastered collection, I'm there day one, and I'm dropping everything I'm doing. I absolutely love those games, and so if I had the opportunity to play through them again, I would welcome that opportunity with open arms, especially with updated visuals and trophy support. I'm there day one. In fact, they can sell the games separately, and I'll pay 120. I'll pay 60 a piece for them. That's how much I'm looking forward to those games. And we all have those games. If they re-released, we would be there. So I have no problem with these HD collections. To me, it gives those who missed out on the games the first time a chance to play them. It also gives those of us who played them an excuse to play them again. And so I love HD collections. Like I said, someone please put out a KOTOR HD collection and a Grand Theft Auto 3 or Vice City remade, updated, remastered collection, and I'm definitely there day one. So gamers, quit being hypocrites, because you know there's a game you want remade, and so just because they ain't remade your game yet, don't mean you have to hate on all the rest of the remakes and HD collections out there. All right, next game we're going to talk about is actually launching on the same day as Borderlands, and that is Bloodborne, a PS4 exclusive. And Bloodborne has been billed as the spiritual successor to Demon Souls, which was a PS3 exclusive. And Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1 and 2, I really enjoyed all three of those games. I love the world they created. Really love the enemies that you fight, the bosses. They're very imaginative in their design. Love the combat. All three games are billed really by their difficulty. These are very difficult games. The difficulty harkens back to those old school Nintendo games when games were a whole lot more difficult than they are today. Uh, the difficulty angle really doesn't appeal to me, however. I'll be honest, the only one of the three I've defeated was Demon Souls, and that was just because there was a glitch that allowed me to duplicate souls to upgrade my character to a point where he was powerful enough to get past all the bosses. Both Dark Souls 1 and 2 I have never played through to completion, and basically I played both of those games, but eventually I reached a point where the difficulty was too great, and so I was going to have to invest time in grinding to upgrade my character to a point where he could get past the part I was having a problem with, and the time investment was just too great for me, so I moved along from both of those games. Now, when I was younger, a difficult game appealed to me. I had the time to invest hours on end trying to figure out how to defeat a difficult boss or defeat a difficult level. And not only did I have the time to invest, but I had limited resources. Moms would buy me a game maybe once every 4 or 5 months, and so I had months on end to invest in defeating difficult games. Nowadays, I'm much older, have far less time, and much more games. And so I don't have the time to invest in defeating or spending hours trying to figure out how to get by this very difficult boss or this very difficult level or this puzzle. For me, difficulty is not something I look for in games anymore. When I play a game, I look at the trophy list before I start. If there are difficulty related trophies, I'll play on normal difficulty. However, if there are no difficulty related trophies, I'll be honest with y'all, I put that game on super easy cool, play it on easy, and don't have to worry about dying. Because for me, I don't really play games anymore for the challenge of getting by this hard, difficult boss or level. I play games to experience the story and the gameplay and the worlds they've created. I like the place of the game and then move along to the next game. I don't want to invest hours on end trying to get by a certain part of a game or a certain puzzle. If you enjoy the difficulty in the game, that's something you look forward to in the game. More power to you. Please enjoy that. It's just not something I enjoy. I will be checking out Bloodborne Day 1. How long I play the game will basically be determined by when I reach that breaking point of it's become too difficult for me to continue to invest time in. But I'm interested in all those gamers out there checking me out. What's your opinion of difficulty in a game? Do you enjoy playing through games on hard or very hard, or does the difficulty of a game detract from it? And so is Bloodborne something you're not necessarily going to check out because it is too difficult? So let me know in the comments. Holler at me. Let me know what you think about difficulty in games today. All right, y'all, that's all the time we got for this week's episode of Daily Operation. This been DJ Illmatic, Daily Operation, Episode 8. Check us out, y'all, 8bitchimp.com for all that gaming flavor you savor, 8bitchimp.com. Once again, check me out on YouTube, like my videos, subscribe to my channel, DJ underscore Illmatic. Check me out on Twitch at the same name, DJ underscore Illmatic. I'm broadcasting pretty much daily on Twitch, so check me out. Also, holler at me on Twitter, DJ Illmatic23, no space, no underscore, that's all together, DJ Illmatic23. Get at me at one or all three of them joints, and I will holler back at you. Fat shout out to my organized gamers family. Big shout out to my man Bam. Fat shout out to Tav, Show, showing love. The whole crew showing love. Big shout out to everyone out there supporting DJ Illmatic and showing love on the daily operation joints. If you checked out a video, if you subscribed to my channel, I appreciate the love and support. We're going to keep doing big things, y'all. Holler at me in the comments. Let me know what you think. And we'll be back at you next week, y'all. This DJ Illmatic, daily operation. We out, y'all. One.